Hi everyone, welcome to IASBYHEART. This is our Prelims Heist series, one-stop solution to crack prelims. And this is our fourth environment session. And today we are going to discuss about 10 new topics, which consist of ecological succession, Malabar civet, flagship species, grassland, atoll tunnel, eutrophication, floating morasses, REDD plus, Amazon fund, keystone species, and biosphere reserve and wildlife sanctuaries. See, this is our first question. Consider the following statements. First one, ecological succession is a process by which the structure of a biological community evolves over a time. Second one, primary succession occurs when in an environment that had a little soil already. It happens when the previous community is lost, such as due to forest fire. Here we have to choose a right statement. First one, what is meant by ecological succession? See, ecological succession means it is a process by which some species structure of an ecological community it evolves over some certain period of time, for example, 1,000 years or millions of years. So, our first statement would be right. Second one, primary succession occurs when in an environment that had little soil already. No, this is a wrong statement because primary succession occurs when in an environment that had bare rock. Primary succession starts from the bare rock. That means nothing but starts from the pioneer community and end through a climax community. But this secondary succession only occurs when in an environment that had a little soil already. So this second statement would be wrong. So our answer would be option A, one only. Here is our explanation. What is meant by ecological succession? It is a process by which the structure of a biological community which evolves over certain period of times. That means it may be decades or millions of years. See, this is a difference between primary and secondary succession. In this primary succession, it starts from the bare rock. But in case of secondary succession, it starts from a already established layer of soil. In this primary succession, there are some species like lichens and mosses are found in this region. These lichens and mosses, see here, these lichens and mosses are the pioneer species which alter the habitat conditions by their growth and development. When these lichens and mosses are grows, it altered the environment conditions which further led to grasses as well as shrubs, which is called as intermediate species. This intermediate species also change their environment. From this intermediate species, we are receiving our climax community, that is nothing but our forest. This is a forest area. But when this climax community is disturbed due to deforestation or earthquake, volcanisms, and human activities like habitat destruction, deforestation, if this climax community disturbed means, then our secondary succession comes into the main role. In this secondary succession, we are having already established layer of a soil. So from this established layer of soil, this lichens and mosses and small species of grasses and trees, forests, these are all grows at a very huge rate, very faster. That means secondary succession are very fast when compared to this primary succession. That means the species which developed the climax community of this secondary succession is very fast when compared to the climax community of the primary succession. So this is about the first question. See the secondary succession. The difference between primary succession is that secondary succession starts from a well developed soil. So that's the difference. So our second question. With reference to Malabar civet, consider the following statements. It is a critically endangered species of mammal. It is found exclusively in the Western Ghats. Third one, it is facing extinction threat due to forest fires and commercial plantations. Here we have to choose the right statement. This Malabar civet is a critically endangered species according to IUCN status. Yes, this is found exclusively in the Western Ghats region, but the threat facing by this Malabar civet is not the forest fire and the commercial plantation. So third option would be the wrong. See here, the threat faced by this species is habitat destruction as well as hunting process. So by eliminating the third statements, we are having our answer as 1 and 2. That's nothing but B is our right answer. See the next question. See, this is about a Malabar civet. See, this Malabar civet is a dusky grey in color. It has a dark mark on the cheek, large transverse dark mark on the back and the sides, two obliquely transverse dark lines on the neck. See here, these dark marks are more pronounced than in the Indian large civet. Its throat and neck are white in color. Its tail is ringed with dark bands. Here we don't have the tail diagram. See the feet of this Malabar civet. The feet are dark in nature. So this is about Malabar civet. This is a very important animal. See the third question. Consider the following statements regarding flagship species. First one, a flagship species is a species selected to act as an ambassador, icon or symbol for a defined habitat, issue, campaign or environmental cause. Second statement is, flagship species may or may not be good indicators of biological process. Here we have to choose the incorrect statements. Please be cautious about these type of questions like incorrect statements. Sometimes due to overconfidence we forget to see this incorrect statement. So please be careful about this statement. So first one, what is meant by flagship species? These flagship species are selected for conservation because of their charismatic appeal and are large sized animal. These are act as a brand ambassador for the environmental cause. For example, panda, snow leopard. So these are the example. So nothing but flagship species is related to act as an ambassador. So this is a right statement. Flagship species may or may not be a good indicator of a biological process. Yes, this is also a right statement. So our option would be D, because here they are asking about incorrect statement. See, here is our explanation. Flagship species, it's act as an ambassador, icon or symbol for defined habitat, issues, campaign or some environmental cause. These species are chosen because for their vulnerability, attractiveness or distinctiveness in order to get support and acknowledgement from the public at large. This concept of flagship species is to give publicity to a few key species, for example Indian tiger and African elephant, giant panda of China, mountain gorilla of Central Africa, orangutan of Southeast Asia and the leatherback sea turtle. See, in this flagship species, for example, take WWF logo. WWF logo is a panda, and Barasinga or swamp deer is a state animal of Madhya Pradesh. These are all type of flagship species. These species are chosen when there is a need of conservation of some particular area. See the difference between the flagship species and the umbrella species. This is additional information regarding umbrella species. What is meant by umbrella species? Some species occupies large geographical range. For example, take an elephant. Elephant moves from this area to, for example, take this as a point A and this edge as a point B. Elephant moves from point A to point B, which is a large area. So this entire area protected by conservators. A conservationist delineate the boundary of some protected areas based on the habitat of this umbrella species. For example, elephant act as an umbrella species. If some conservationist they demarcate the boundary of elephant like this means the species which found in between these layers, this protected area, for example deer and tiger which occupied this area also gets protected. So it's nothing but some species occupied the larger area, it indirectly protect many other species in the same ecological community, for example deer and lion, tiger. So this is about our umbrella species. Our next question, in the grasslands, trees do not replace the grasses as a part of an ecological succession because of option A, insect and fungi, option B, limited sunlight and paucity of nutrients, option C, water limits and fire, option D, none of the above. This is a direct question. Our option would be third one, C. Grasses does not replace the trees because of the water limits and the fire. So that's the right thing. See the explanation. See, this is about our grassland. These grassland ecosystems are at the early stage of succession. These are also a climax species in this grassland region, because in this grassland temperature is low compared to the hotter equatorial region, as well as precipitation also low when compared to the hotter equatorial region. So what's the condition of growing of trees? It required more moisture and more temperature, but here we don't have enough moisture which are required to support the trees. And moreover, human activities like burning of this vegetation which destroy these grasses which cannot be able to produce a new type of trees. So in grassland we are finding trees in one region only, one certain area only. For example, in 1 acre we are almost find up to 2 to 3 trees. That's about grassland vegetation. See the explanation. See the factors required for uh, growing of trees is a water supply as well as temperature, but here in this region we don't have that much amount of water supply, but also human activities mainly like burning of vegetations which also deteriorate our grassland region. So moreover the ecological section of this grassland is a desert, so we have no options in this grassland. Our next question would be, Union government approved to construct Atal tunnel. Consider the following statements in this regard. First one, it would be constructed below the Zojila Pass in the Himachal Pradesh. Second one, it will providing all-weather connectivity to remote border areas of Himachal Pradesh and Ladakh. Third one, it would be the world's longest tunnel above the altitude of 3000 meters. Here we have to choose the right answer. See the first statement, it would be constructed below the Zojila Pass in the Himachal Pradesh. No, this is a wrong statement, because it would be constructed below the Rohtang Pass in Himachal Pradesh. But the second and third option would be right. So our answer would be option C. So here is our explanation. See, this is a tunnel called Atal tunnel which was built under the Rohtang Pass. It would be constructed from Manali to Leh. This Atal tunnel has a 8.8 kilometer long strategic tunnel, and moreover it's the longest above the altitude of 3000 meters in the world. This Rohtang Pass is located in Himachal Pradesh. It cuts through the Pirpanjal range. It links Manali and Leh road. But this Zojila Pass, it is in the Zaskar range of Jammu and Kashmir. It has been created by the Indus River. Next question is, a lake with inflow of domestic sewage rich in organic waste may result in option A, drying of lake very soon because of algal bloom, option B, an increased production of fish due to lot of nutrients, option C, death of fish due to lack of oxygen, option D, increased population of aquatic food web organisms. See, this question is related to eutrophication, so our answer would be C, death of fish due to lack of oxygen. See, here is our explanation. See, this is a lake which consists of rich organic nutrients. So when the lake consists of rich organic nutrients means there will be a algal bloom there. See, this is about the algal bloom. So this is a situation called eutrophication. What is meant by eutrophication? Eutrophication means nothing but when a body of water becomes overly enriched, or that means it overly enriched with minerals and nutrients which induce excessive growth of algae. This algae, this process may result in oxygen depletion of the water body. This oxygen depletion will further lead to the death of the fish. So our answer is C. Our next question is, which of the following species lives on the floating morasses of the Loktak Lake and is also the state animal of Manipur? Option A, brown antlered deer, B, mouse deer, C, hangul, D, swamp deer. See, there will be one keyword called a state animal of Manipur. So state animal of Manipur is Shanghai deer. That's nothing but it is also known as brown antlered deer. It's an endemic species of that Loktak Lake. See, this is the explanation regarding that. This Shanghai deer restricted to the marshy wetland of Kabul Lamjo over the floating biomass in the Loktak Lake, which is called as a pumdis. See, this is a pumdis. There will be a batch of grasses are there. This is called as pumdis. This Kabul Lamjo is the only floating national park in India. Moreover, this Shanghai deer is an endangered species which has a habitat in this Kabul Lamjo National Park. It is also one of the 7 Ramsar sites of international importance. That's nothing but our Loktak Lake. In that Loktak Lake, there would be one project called as Loktak Inland Waterways Improvement Project. Ministry of Shipping has given this approval. By developing this project, will develop the inland water transport connectivity in the northeast. So this is about this question. Our next question is related to Amazon Fund. Amazon Fund was in news recently for being REDD plus mechanisms. Consider the following statements about REDD plus. It is about checking deforestation and forest degradation only. Second statement, it conceptualizes flow of positive incentives for demonstrated reduction in deforestation or for enhancing quality and expanse of forest cover. See, in this question, our first option would be wrong. It is about checking deforestation and forest degradation only. No, it is not about checking deforestation and forest degradation only. It has some other functions also. See here, it has some elements like conservation, sustainable management of forest, and the enhancement of forest carbon stocks. But here, in our option, we are giving only statement. So this is a wrong one. So by eliminating first one, we are having our answer as 2. So B, only 2. This is our right answer. See, here is our explanation. Amazon Fund. This is a REDD plus mechanism. It was aimed to create to raise the donations in order to prevent and monitor and combat the deforestation, which also used to promote the preservation and sustainable use of Brazilian Amazon. This Amazon Fund is managed by the Brazilian Development Bank. Moreover, this REDD plus, what is meant by REDD? This REDD is nothing but it is a reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation plus. The aim of this REDD plus is to compensate the local people for preserving the loss of forest or their degradation. Now Norway and Germany are the countries recently decided to halt the donations to this REDD plus mechanisms. See, this REDD plus not only check the deforestation and forest degradation, it also includes some other functions like conservation, sustainable management of forest, as well as enhancement of forest carbon stocks. This is our first statement. This REDD plus conceptualizes flow of positive incentives in order to enhance the quality and expanse of forest cover. Moreover, this is to create an incentive to developing countries to protect, better manage and save their forest resources, and thus contributing to fight against the climate change, because climate change is a major problem in today's world. Next question, consider the following statements about keystone species. Our first statement, the contribution of a keystone species is larger than any another species in a habitat. Second one, a keystone species is always a predator. Third one, a keystone species disappearance would start disappearance of other species in the habitat. Fourth one, keystone as well as foundation species can be a producer or consumer. Here we have to choose a right statement. We are all know about that keystone species is not only about predator. For example, bee also keystone species, but it was not a predator. So by eliminating second one, we are having our option as A and B. We have to choose our answer from this. So please analyze this B and A option. Here we are having both option 1 and 1 as well as 3 and 3. So the third statement will be right statement. That means keystone species would start, if it disappear means the other species also getting disappear. So this is a right statement. But we have to know about whether the fourth statement is right or wrong. Keystone as well as foundation species cannot be a producer or a consumer. What is meant by foundation species? Actually, this foundation species refers to primarily producers. That's nothing but autotrophs that dominate the ecosystem with their abundance and influence. So, by eliminating the fourth option itself, we are having our answer as 1 and 3. Option A is the right answer. See about the keystone species. Species whose addition or loss from an ecosystem leads to the major change in abundance. So moreover, top predators like lion, tiger, crocodile, elephant are considered as a keystone species. If this keystone species lost means it will result in the degradation of the whole ecosystem. That is nothing but keystone species maintain the ecosystem balance through their functional role. This keystone species can be a producer or a consumer. This is about a foundation species. It's a dominant primary producer in an ecosystem. So for example, kelp in kelp forest and coral in coral reefs. So our final question, consider the following pairs. No Crack Biosphere Reserve. See here, one side we are having our Biosphere Reserve and another side we are having our hills and wildlife sanctuaries. No Crack Biosphere Reserves, Garo Hills. Yes, this see here we have to choose the right statement. Yes, first one is the right one. Second one, Nilagiri Biosphere Reserve does not contain the Shendurni Wildlife Sanctuary. The Shendurni Wildlife Sanctuary, it is located in this Agasthiyamalai Biosphere Reserve. But in the Sirvani Hills, which is located in the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. So we have to choose the rightly matched pair. So our answer would be A. Nokrak Biosphere Reserve, Garo Hills. So A is our right answer. See, here is our explanation. Nokrak National Park. See, this Nokrak Biosphere Reserve. In this Biosphere Reserve, see the map. See the diagram. See, this is a Nokrak National Park. This Nokrak National Park is a important habitat for Asiatic elephant. Moreover, this is a hotspot of biodiversity in the Meghalaya region. See, these are all extra information, so please note these type of points. See, this is about Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. In this Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, we are having our Sirvani Hills and Silent Valley National Park, Kalpara Forest, Rajiv Gandhi National Park, Bandipur National Park, so Kaveri Wildlife Sanctuary. So these are the areas which covered under Nilgiris Biosphere Reserve. See, this is the Tiger Reserve, Mudumalai Tiger Reserve, Bandipur Tiger Reserve, Nagarhole Tiger Reserve, so Attapadi Reserve Forest. So these are the areas in the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. So next about Agastyamalai Biosphere Reserve. See, this is about Agastya Biosphere Reserve. This biosphere reserve is located in the Western Ghats region. That's nothing but our southern part of India. It consists of many endemic species, up to 400 endemic species of plants. It consists of some cultivated plants like cardamom, jamun, nutmeg, pepper, and plantain. So this biosphere reserve is inhabited by many tribal settlements amounting to the total number of population up to 3000. So this is about our explanation. See this. This is about our total biosphere reserves in India. Cold Desert, Nanda Devi, Dehang Valley, Dibur Saikova, Kanchenjunga, Manas, Nokrak, Sundarban, Simlipal, Achanakmar Amarkandak, Panchamadi, Panna, Ran of Kutch, Sheshalam Hills, Nilgiris, Agastya Malay, Gulf of Mannar and Great Nicobar. So there are totally 12 biosphere reserves are there, which was uh, which gave certificated by UNESCO. There are totally 18 biosphere reserves in India, but UNESCO accepted only 12 biosphere reserves. So please draw this diagram. So that's the end of our session. Thank you so much.